Let me start with the first thing you said, because the first
Hmm.
thing the Dalai Lama says that we need to do in order to make the world a better place is to transform ourselves,
Right,
have a more compassionate attitude.
right.
This can sound a little vague, but actually the Dalai Lama has some specific, scientifically validated suggestions. And can you dive reasonably deeply into that? What can we actually do to be nicer, better
Well,
people?
and I'm glad you mentioned this book is based in science, really. He keeps up with scientific studies, meets with scientists regularly, and he's incorporated it. One of the things we could do is what you suggest in your book, 10% Happier, which is about
Available
mindfulness.
at fine bookstores everywhere, ladies and gentlemen.
You can take care of me later for that one, Dan.
I'll grease you
So,
later.
which is a method of looking at our own mind as we're in the midst of the heat of the day and the heat of the moment, and starting to develop a point of leverage, a neutral point where we can decide: am I going to act on that impulse, or am I going to widen the gap?
You got to
between
you got
impulse
to
and
you got to
action?
say what it is, though. You got to drop the M word. A lot of people don't want to do it, but it's meditation. And this is what the Dalai Lama does several hours every morning. He's not saying that we need to do several hours a day, but he is saying that in order to train the mind and train the heart,
Right.
meditation is the thing.
Well, he does get up at 3 in the morning, but we have to say he goes to bed at 7. So don't try that. He loves to sleep. Uh, Meditation, yes, but I think of it really as training attention. In terms of the emotional intelligence model, it's more self-awareness, getting better at self-management. The basic rep in the inner gym is you put your mind in one place, you concentrate, it wanders off. That's what the mind does. You notice it wandered. That's the moment of mindfulness. And then you bring it back. Every time you do that, you strengthen the brain circuitry for focus, for mindfulness. It's like in the gym, every time you lift the weight, the muscle gets that much stronger. Exactly the same. So he says, develop a discipline. Do something to manage your own mind. This is a good one. Then he says, pair it with compassion. And here the science is very strong too. It turns out that if you practice daily the thought, I wish that this person, the people I love would be happy, would be healthy. You wish positive things for them. That people I know, strangers, people everywhere have that. It turns out that strengthens the circuitry for love, particularly the kind of love between a parent and child. And this is the basis of what's called empathic concern, which is one of 3 kinds of empathy. It's the kind of empathy where you genuinely care about other people. The more we have that genuine care for other people, the more we'll act with their benefit in mind.
So it is possible to make yourself nicer.
Believe it or not, Dan.
Luckily, my wife is not watching this live stream.
Nor my wife. But my wife does say the more you practice this kind of stuff, the nicer you are.
And science backs this up. You're not just making it up.
No, the science comes out of Stanford University. I'd like to mention a book by Thupten Jinpa, which is called The Fearless Heart, which takes a program developed at Stanford, studied by neuroscientists there, authenticated as actually working, and it's open to anyone. And it's actually a very good complement to the mindfulness that you're talking about. But these are ways to strengthen the part of the brain which makes us a force for good, which makes us act in ways that have not just our selfish self-interest at heart, but the goodness of what we do and the actual effects and benefits for other people.